Hi, in this video, that is in a series of videos about making a WordPress website, I will be doing the final step when it comes to configuring your website's infrastructure, and that is quite important, especially for websites who are like web shops and similar. That's emails. And for this series of videos, it has been sponsored by companies whose services I'm already using and paying for, which I contacted and asked if they want to sponsor the videos where I will be practically promoting their services anyway. And those sponsors are Porkbun company. Their website is porkbun.com. They are a domain registrar that also offer web hosting services. And the other sponsor is HostMantis. That is my hosting provider of choice, and these companies have decided to sponsor these videos. I thank them for this. And now let's get on. When it comes to domain registrars and hosting, I'm using these two companies. And when it comes to DNS, I'm using Cloudflare, and I've already created a video explaining how to configure Cloudflare account, open it, secure it, and how to add your websites to Cloudflare and configure everything that's needed for them to run. Well, almost everything. We need to configure emails. And for emails, I will be using a company called MXroute. It's a US owned company, private. They are relatively small, and in my experience, compared to other big players like Google and Microsoft, Google Suite and Microsoft email services, they've been just as reliable, if not even better, for transactional emails. And if you want to send tens of thousands of emails for mailing lists for whichever reason, I have a website article on that, and I will not be going into those details, and I'm not a big fan of mailing lists, but there will be I can link an article on my website for showing how to do that. Here it is, WordPress mailing list creation, and for that we had good experience with using a company called SendGrid and their infrastructure, and I do not recommend using MXroute to send thousands of emails. MXroute is good for sending emails where you write to someone, or your website notifications to visitors who register and something like that, password resets and everything like that, but not for mass mailing whoever wants to receive or doesn't emails. That's explained here, and I won't be going into that. For now we will be using MXroute, and so let's go to their website .com and try to create an account there. Internet I'm using is not very fast, and these websites are okay. It's my internet. Okay, here we are on the home page, and there are several options here, and they have a lifetime promotion. I've already also created an article on my website that lists the lifetime offers that I consider are worth buying, and MXroute is among those. It's listed there. This is the article, reviews, services, and miscellaneous, and here is the explanation what lifetime offers are, what are the realistic expectations of those, and the ones I recommend. And MXroute is the first one, then some other WordPress themes and plugins and services and so on, and that's for you to read if you're interested. Now let's get on with this. I want to see pricing, and these are the plans: small, medium, large. They all have unlimited domains and email accounts that really work like that, and your limit is storage. And they also offer reseller accounts, so you can act like an email service provider, and this is not what we will be using here. We want email for our website, and we'll use this one. And let's try to create an account. Okay, choose billing cycle. They only offer annual, and which domain I want to use for my emails. Now, in the previous videos I have already explained about configuring a working domain, and that is the one that I will be using for creating this account as well. So let's go here, domain management. You can see the other videos in this series if you're interested and have the time, but here we'll be using this domain that will not host our website. We will just use it as a working domain for this as well. Copy pasting this, and here's the domain we'll be using. Okay. You do read their terms of service carefully. Basically, they do not allow any kind of spamming, and you need to configure your DNS properly to not compromise their infrastructure. And if you don't oblige to those rules, you will be kicked out of their service. So it's a fair and reasonable policy, in my opinion. So okay, let's get on. Continue. I will make a new account for this use only, and I will enter all my contact data here. And this is basically like any other service that you are ordering online. I don't think that I should show this in the video for privacy reasons, and it's more or less similar if you everything here is straightforward. How did I find this? Other. Okay, I will cut this part out of the video. Okay, I've managed to pay this, and here it is. It's supposed to make annual payments, and now I'll click on this and say request cancellation after I've done with this series of videos to remove the account. And the service auto renewal, I will first set it to off because I don't want to renew it. I chose PayPal, but you can also choose Stripe checkout, so you can pay with your credit card. And here, that's the first thing that I did. And now I'll log into my PayPal account to disable the auto renewal fees on an annual basis. This is important whenever you make a service with renewal and use PayPal. Okay, so it seems that MXroute does not configure the PayPal auto renewals, or that this was enough for it to be turned off, which is good. Okay, so now let's get to the creation. Here we have a dashboard, and they're asking me to log in. All right. To enable two-factor authentication, I need to go to my account, edit details, and here it is, two-factor authentication enable, and the procedure is the same as for any other two-factor authentication enabling, and I will not be demonstrating it here now. I will refer to you to look at the previous video about Cloudflare, where I have set it up for Cloudflare, and the principle is the same to set it up for MXroute. It's important to properly secure your account, and spammers are often trying to hack into MXroute accounts because they deliver their emails properly. So that's a valuable tool to have, and make sure it's well protected with a strong password, username that not everyone sees. I will be canceling this account before showing it publicly, because I want to prevent any kind of abuse and so on. So let's go to configuring our emails. So here we have services, and this is our service we have for to log into it. login details. This is the link where I should go to login, and this is my username, and this is to show my password and to show my root password, which are both the same. And what I wish to do now is to make sure that I change this to something probably a bit more difficult to figure out. So we'll go here, say reset password, or let's log in and change password from there. That's probably a good idea. Open this in a new tab, copy my password, username, copy my password, and sign in. Okay, so we'll copy this to our password manager. I've made the video showing how password manager is used, so let's here say copying this, and we have the info of our old password and username. Saving the old password just in case. Select this Ctrl+C to copy paste it, and copy paste it here, and we'll create a stronger password. I want special characters and everything, and these slashes are not something that DirectAdmin deals well with, so I've replaced that one, and this will be our password. Alright, saving that, and let's get on here to try and change the password. Current password, okay, that's the old one, it's here, and a new password. Alright, submit. Okay, this didn't go well. Let's try again. Alright. Some special characters are not very well handled, and others are. So let's try to replace these ones with okay, let's give it a try now. Okay, this is our password now. Okay, saving this, and let's try to use this password. Alright, to make sure this works, I'll try log out and log in again. Okay, this works. Let's try our main account. Log out and log in again. Of course, I'll be canceling this account, configuring two-factor authentication, changing all the passwords, everything before this video is published, just to be on the safe side. This is just for demonstration. You don't want this stuff to be visible to anyone. Okay, and here we are. This is our server, mail server, moose.mxrouting.net, and the port for DirectAdmin control panel. And now we're going to domain setup. We want to set the domain for our website. Add new. Our website is bgrsite.com. All right, so it's bgrsite.com. This all looks good. I can limit the amount of how many megabytes for email storage I want, or to have this email use up to the maximum, and the same goes for bandwidth and everything else. So okay, let's leave it as is now. No need to complicate things. And now I can choose here BGR site and go to email manager and say email accounts. This is the working account for the domain, and it's not really functional. It's more in order to make the infrastructure work, so you won't be getting any emails here basically. And for details, bother the MXroute people, but this one is not used. We will create a new account, and here we'll use relia@bgrsite.com, and we need a good password. So let's go to our password manager. Okay, and let's see here, new group, emails. Oh, let's change the icon. This nice, good. Now here we'll set relia@bgrsite.com. That will be the username, and the password we want generated one. That's difficult to crack and without the stuff DirectAdmin doesn't handle well. Okay, let's see if this is good enough. Copy pasting it, making sure it's saved here. Alright, let's make it like this. And sending quota is 300 emails per hour. That's 7,200 per day. You cannot go over that, and like I said, it's not intended to be used for mass mailing or anything like that nonsense. If you have mailing lists, use another service. And this is our now email. Now we need to configure all the important DNS records for this to work. I'll use my own tutorial. It's simpler. This one was written when they used the cPanel control panel for setting up emails, but the principle is the same. I'm looking for DNS setup that's important, as it says. Okay, so here we need to configure the DNS, and that's let's go to DNS for our account, for our website domain, and we need to add a new record, and we will be adding an MX record. And we want to use this for our main domain. If you're making an email for a subdomain of your website, then you will use like mail, and that will be mail.yourwebsite.com, and then add the MXroute server. But I want to create an email relia@bgrsite.com, not relia@mail.bgrsite.com. So here I will be using this to go for a route, and the mail server we'll use as our primary mail server. Here we'll go to the MXroute tutorials. Okay, this is their tutorial. I'll try to post a link to this on the website, but you can always Google it. And so here for the first record of your MX records, you want to use their primary mail server, the one you're on, and for secondary you add relay. So in this case we are using moose mxrouting.net. Okay, copying this and saying this, moose mxrouting.net, and priority is 10, and I can set this to the longest period possible because I'm confident it will all work nicely. Alright, so I've set my primary MX domain, MX record, sorry. Yes, okay, that's good. Copying this save, and we'll add the second MX record also for this, and it needs to add relay, so /relay. Priority 20 as shown here. Okay, so we have our MX record now. Now we need to set up SPF, DKIM, DMARC, and other records that are important to prevent anyone from fraudulently presenting themselves as our domain. So this is what we need to do to create a TXT record. Add record, TXT, and we will use this for a start, space, and then either one of these is good. We're using this for our root domain, and we'll say mxroute.com and say this, so that other services are not allowed, they are not considered authorized. If you are using another service like SendGrid, you can read my article explaining how to configure that one. Here it is, SendGrid setup, and there I've explained how to add the needed DNS records. Here it is. I will add this and be done with it, among other things. But in this case, we will be happy with only MXroute, and that should be it when it comes to SPF records. Let's double check. Okay, this looks good for the SPF. Okay, save. Now we need to configure our other DNS records. We need to set up our DKIM DNS record. And let's see what we have here. We have X domain key. Okay, so we'll be adding a new text record for the root domain, and feeling optimistic. This is the one we want, X domain key, and we'll copy paste this without the quotation marks. That's how Cloudflare likes it. Ctrl C and copy paste it here. All right. Okay. Now we need to confirm that to be working, and for that I will go here. Okay. And in order for these changes to propagate, as I've explained in my Cloudflare video, I need to click away from this menu and then click back. Okay, so here we are interested in this one. Going here to this tool. Okay, let's double check. Yes. This is for cPanel, and for DirectAdmin it uses that X domain key, but it's the same principle. And for our name server, we need to get our primary name server from here, copying and saying, okay, I want txt. Let's double check. Yes, okay. It's not too complicated. I've got it written down. I'll put links to these articles, and hopefully with the video you'll get the hang of it. Okay, here is the text we need to save. Okay, let's open a text editor and let's copy and let's copy everything just in case. Copy, Ctrl V, going back, copy this, continuing where we started. It's all one big bunch of text. Okay, copy here now, Ctrl A to copy it everything, Ctrl A to select, Ctrl C to copy, going back to Cloudflare, and this is the domain key we wish to. I can click cancel on this, I didn't want to edit it, but for this one, Ctrl A to select it all, delete it, or now paste this new value, save. Okay, now we have some important stuff configured, and now we need DMARC, or however it is pronounced in English, record. And let's see where I have that explained. DNS records for email. I should put a link somewhere here, visible. DNS, MX records. Okay. Email DNS settings. Now where is that? Websites, email setup in cPanel and DNS. Okay, it is in a logical place. DNS setup for email. Now we need the MX records, got that sorted out, and the following txt. SPF, got it sorted out. DKIM sorted out. DMARC, okay, that's the one we need to now look into. I can just jump to it. Here it is. Okay, here I need to set this up to prevent any emails that don't pass SPF or DKIM checkup from being forwarded anywhere or relayed anywhere. This is a strict policy, and I will replace this email to the email I wish to be used to get the info about any sort of problems related to emails. And for this use, I prefer to and recommend you open an account with Easy DMARC. This is the service, and there you will get very intuitive information how to set up an account there and to configure DKIM, basically which emails to use here, so that the statistics are sent there and you get just monthly reports. So it's easier and better than having your email put here and getting about every spam attempt or phishing attempt or whatever to your email. But for this use, I will make a compromise in order to not make the video be too long. So we will make a new DMARC record, like shown here above. This is what we want. txt. Okay, and I need this. Yes, I got it right. Okay, and feeling optimistic, I'm just pasting it here, and here we'll use for this we want it sent to this email. Okay, and these other fields mean that we want strict policy to not allow any kind of messing around. Let's double check. Yes, I suggested you don't start with that strict policy to confirm it all works, but this is a tutorial domain and it will not be a problem if an email gets not delivered or something. I want to start with the reject policy straight away, just to be on the safe side. Okay, that's defined here, and here, unlike this one where we just disregard everything, we just get notified, but all the emails are passed through. We want to be on the safe side. Okay, so saving this. If anyone is interested at all, I make a separate video about this service, how to create an account there and to get it working. Okay, so here we are, and I think we have it all configured properly. Another extra stuff you can do is create a BIMI email account. Here it is. I explained how to set that up here. You basically need to upload an image to your hosting account with your logo and set up a BIMI record. It's all explained here in this article that I will link in this video's description, but I don't think that's crucial for having emails work properly and securely. That's just an extra marketing gadget for now, and it's not really, I'm not really certain if it will be a long-lived one or if it will be edited, so I'll skip this part deliberately. The video will already be long and quite tedious probably, so I'm moving away from this option now, from this, just to confirm SPF, DKIM, DMARC, okay, and MX, okay, this looks good. Clicking away, and then I can click back, but the changes have been propagated. Now what I will do is something that it's up to you if you want to do it or not, but I will connect my MXroute inbox. Let's see, email accounts. This is the email account I've created. I will connect it with Gmail so that I can use Gmail as my email account. For those who are super privacy concerned, you can install any other mail client and configure it to leave emails for about 2 weeks or a month on the server without deleting them, only after they're older, so you can synchronize those emails both on your mobile phone and on any computers you're using. But for me, Gmail is quite efficient. It does the job on any place I go, and emails are never gone there. I've never had any problems, and they are easily backed up even from Gmail. I won't be going into how to back up emails on Gmail. You can Google that, how to back up your Gmail account with all the data and the emails, and that is beyond the scope of this video. So here I'll go to my Gmail account that I've created for this use, bikegremlin.tutorial@gmail.com. Going to go to all settings, accounts and import, and I will say add another email address to send from. Okay, let's go to our MXroute account. I've saved all the info here, so this is the email address. I want to send as BikeGremlin, and this is address. It treats everything set as here shown. Next. SMTP server, this is the one we are using. We can double check that. Go to our account. Moose, okay, that's good. That's the one we're using, and we will probably need password. Where were we? Okay, here, that's the password, and the username is we use the email account as username. Now for port, I want this one and SSL. Where that info can be found, it's on my website tutorial article, and you can Google MXroute info on their website, the knowledge base. But let's go on, account. Okay, now Google wants me to verify that I really have access to this email if I want to send as that email using the login and everything. So Google is acting only as a mail client. It's not going through Google's infrastructure. It's using MXroute. So for that, I will go here and go to webmail by clicking on that small arrow. And here it is. The email has already arrived. I need this code copied, Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V to paste it, verify. All right, now I can send as relia@bgrsite.com. But I also want to get all the emails from here. How do I do that? Let's go back, and I can say here, make this default. Alright, when I don't choose otherwise, I want to send as this one, and always reply from the address the email was sent to. So if I get email to this address, I want to reply as this one, and when I get email to this address, I want to reply as this one, but it will be default. So when I click to compose a new email, this is what I'll be sending the emails as. We'll get back to that in a minute. Now let's check email from my new account. Email address, this is the one, Ctrl C. We want to be here. Next, POP3, okay, choose this option. Username is our email address, at least with MXroute, and let's see the password. And this is not the mail server we want Moose. Let's double check this. Moose MXrouting.net. It's a lot easier for me to just copy paste for some reason. And the port we wish to use is 995, and we want to use the encryption, and we want to label all the messages that come to this account with a different name to other Gmail messages, and that will show in our Gmail account later, as you will see. And we don't want to leave a copy. We want to get it all off the servers, to not put a lot of emails on the server and pile it up. We'll get emails to our Gmail and back them up there. Okay, add account. Alright, now let's see here. If I go to inbox and I wish to click on this so that it checks on all the new emails, it should get me here. This is the confirmation email that we got there, and it's labeled as BGR site, so I can click here and it will show here as well. That's the email we used to confirm that wasn't deleted off the server. And now if we go back and click here refresh, it's gone. It's taken off the server to our Gmail account. I find this very practical and I use it. And now let's try to make an email, new email. Here I can choose whether I want to send using Gmail's infrastructure or the default one. And we'll go to mail tester. Now let's go. Just a minute. Yes, this is the one we want. All right. I can copy this. Ctrl A, Ctrl C. Go to our Gmail and send email to this address and say okay, let's hit send and see what happens. Okay, the message been sent, and let's here check your score. I've just created this account. This DNS propagation, even when used with Cloudflare, sometimes take a bit longer for the emails, so we might not see the perfect score here, but hopefully it will be okay. Here we have 9.5 out of 10. Let's see what the problem is. This is important to double check and confirm. Okay, we have a small penalty for having a new domain. Okay, that's normal. And that's why we didn't get a perfect score, probably. DKIM valid, everything is valid. SPF passes, properly authenticated. This is very important to make sure. DMARC DKIM SPF to be okay. Okay, it's okay, it's okay. And this is because I didn't create an unsubscribe link in the email, because this service is primarily intended to test for newsletter infrastructure where people send tons of emails to prevent spam, you want to have your subscribers be able to easily unsubscribe from your mailing list when you're sending them. So, but for this test, that is irrelevant. If we were testing a newsletter, then we would of course add unsubscribe option and test with all that. But this looks good. I think the only problem is for the domain, and always make sure to check this, because if you don't configure this stuff properly, a lot of emails will be flagged as spam, and that also means that the infrastructure they are coming from, the MXroute infrastructure, could also be flagged as a spammy infrastructure, and they don't want that because it will make the delivery of all their customers' emails more problematic, and they are very happy to kick you off their service for doing stuff like that. So that's very important. MXroute offer a very high quality, reliable service, in my experience at least, for a very low price, really. And one of the ways to be able to do that is to be strict about not letting customers do nonsense, and that's why I wanted to make this video and explain how to make good use of this service without having any problems to the provider or to yourself. So that's about it, what I wanted to show about email service. And now we can set up our WordPress website and have it use this MXroute infrastructure to send emails, and we will not be relying on hosting providers to host our email or to send our emails, because MXroute is, in my experience, more reliable and it's independent. So if we decide to change a hosting provider, our emails will be working. That's very important for many companies. When they are migrating websites, migrating emails is a headache and a hassle, and using a separate email service, you don't have to use MXroute. This is the example, this is my choice, but you can use any other service, but it makes things a lot easier in the long run, in my experience. And so I hope this video was helpful, informative. If you have any questions, use the comment section below, and we'll get on with the series by making a WordPress website. Thank you for watching, and cheers. If you like this video, you can click on subscribe and choose this bell option, select all, so you get notified whenever I upload a new video.